Well, check this out. It's Death to America Day in Iran. That's right. It's the anniversary of Iran's Islamic Revolution. Joining us now, Jim Kallstrom, a former assistant FBI director right here in New York. And Jim, you know, this is, of course, the same Iran that was that got this great deal from President Obama, and right now, temporarily, even perhaps a gift from the Ninth Circuit Court. What do you make of this? I mean, we bent over backwards the last administration to a nation that was belligerent throughout the negotiating process, that lied throughout the process, that humiliated us before and since then. Where does this ultimately go?
Iran is the biggest supporter and engager in terrorism in the world and has been since 1979. They're throughout South America. They blew up the Israeli and the Jewish facilities down there. They blew up a couple of towers. They killed 299 Marines in Lebanon. They've killed well over 1,000 military personnel in Afghanistan and Iraq through their IEDs that they manufacture and bring on site. They are the worst of the worst of the worst. And the Obama administration, to do what they did, I think the historians down the road, hopefully, if our country stays true to its cause, will look at this, and some will say possibly even a treacherous act to support Iran and give them those types of funds so they can geometrically send more money to kill Americans and kill Jews and kill other Christians throughout the world. It's just an absolute, total, unbelievable outrage. And there have been other ones. I mean, the Clinton administration let our guidance technology go to China. When China was back in the Stone Age, right, and they went from the Stone Age to the 21st century overnight because of the outrageous act to let Motorola and the L'Oreal Corporation pass that technology on to China. And they now have MIRV warheads with 10 warheads on one missile. I mean, it's just an unbelievable outrage. So, I mean,
have we crossed the Rubicon with respect to being able to reel any of these bad actors back?
Charles, I hope not. I mean, although...
What can we do to Iran? We announced 25 sanctions, but realistically, what can we do that will stop this nation that is determined, has been emboldened and enriched by the previous administration?
Well, I think the president would say there's nothing off the table. And unfortunately, there are some things where we're a little bit short. I mean, we have fewer ships now than 50 years ago. Military, you know, half the planes in the Marine Corps can't fly because of spare parts. Same with the Air Force. The Army's down to like 5 or 6 brigades that can actually show up somewhere to fight. And this has all happened, you know, it started with the Bush administration, but into the Obama administration, and the Congress sits by and, you know, twiddle-dee and twiddle-dum down there that just absolutely have no future vision for what's going on in this country. All they really care about, 90% of them, is their own, you know, their own bank account and their own next 2 years for election. It's just pathetic what's happened to our military.
I mean, they're perpetually running for re-election.
Absolutely.
And every now and then bring a bridge to nowhere back home and say, I accomplished something by looting the joint. I do want to ask you sort of on this line, because before the election, you were very worried about the future of the country. We do have President Trump in. Are you more optimistic, despite the nonstop complaints and anger from the left? Do you feel that we might be on the right path, at least to becoming a United States of America again?
I'm very, very optimistic. And I'll tell you what, Charles, Donald Trump's not going to roll over like a cheap camera. You know, he's not going to give in to all this BS. And, you know, he's going to see it through. And the American people are going to get more aroused, I think, over time when they see this cabal that's going on. And believe me, it is a cabal. Some would say a conspiracy. I mean, to pick a particular judge in a particular state, you know, that's just so far out to lunch that it doesn't even take into consideration the constitutional issues and the legislation that's passed that gives the President of the United States total power to do what he wants when it comes to immigration. Of course, that circuit had no problem saying that Arizona had no standing. Right. Of course, but they just jumped at the fact of saying that a couple of other states have standing.
President Trump is known as, do you think the key, though, is a sort of tough love that we haven't necessarily had in this country?
Yeah.
To sort of counter the PC revolution, if you will. And if that's the case, we do have to show returns. You know, the economy's got to come on. But if the same tide lifts all ships, to your point, I think the average person may come around.
No, I think it will come around, and it's going to take time. He's going to have to fight him every day. He's going to have to fight him, as Chesty Puller said in Korea. You know, we're surrounded. You know, the bastards have us surrounded. It's too bad for them. You know, they'll attack in every direction, and I think we're going to see this through. And more people are going to get totally frustrated as to what the Democrats are doing. I shouldn't even call them Democrats. The far left party is doing at every instance. But I think he's going to have good tax policy that comes on board. I think jobs are going to come back. Money's going to come back to the United States. We need to do something about education, particularly in the inner cities. You know, when the Democrats lose 30% of the black vote, they'll never get elected again, and I pray for that day.
Yeah, well, you know, we have Betsy DeVos, who was, you know, she's got the nod, and she's for charter schools. I've been involved with charter schools. I know it's a godsend for these neighborhoods where watered-down curriculums have been offered, and I think parents are starting to get hip to that as well. Yeah, little Johnny got an A, but look at the test.
I would hope so.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think that's the case, right?
Yeah. Everybody gets
exactly right.
The days of everybody gets a trophy has to end.
Well, when you graduate from high school, but you don't know how to fill out a college application form,
Right.
There's a problem there.
Yeah, you can't even write a note.
That's a great point. And if you want to talk about, to Jim's point, what leads to income inequality, right?
Absolutely.
It's what's happening in the inner cities,
Yeah.
right?
And the day will come when more and more people are going to say, yeah, that's right. What have they done for us for the last 5 decades?
Right.
Zero.
Nothing.
Nada.
Yeah, I think though, to your, it's gonna take some time, because not only are there embedded feelings,
Yeah.
but you've got the mainstream media that is running a campaign, a prophet-like campaign against this administration, and President Trump won't ever get credit when there are obvious, decisive victories for the American public, and certainly he will get blamed whenever there are
and you've got a vast majority of the colleges and the universities in the United States that just have no tolerance for the First Amendment. You know, that are just teaching blather to our youngsters, and the parents are going to have to, get involved with this brainwashing that's going on with their kids as they send them off to $50,000 a year.
Yes.
You know, crazy operations that are just going to give them all this blather and propaganda.
It's tough, though. It's tough to overcome. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Dan.
But we'll make it through.
We will.
God bless.
Thank you. God bless you.